Picture this, my shy freshman daughter surrounded by her so-called guy friends at lunch, and during daily comments from an 8-year-old senior who wouldn't shut up. No one steps in. She begs him to stop, but he just laughs. I was furious until she took matters into her own hands in the revenge. It was school-shaking justice that left him humiliated and changed everything. Stick around, this payoff is chef's kiss. If you've ever felt that burning frustration when someone crosses the line and no one has your back, you're not alone. Hit that like button if justice stories like this fire you up. Subscribe for more Reddit revenge tales that deliver real karma, and let's dive in. Because my daughter's story, it's the empowering. When we all need today, let's rewind to that first year of high school for my daughter Emily. She was this quiet, introverted kid, the type who preferred diving into books or chatting about video games over the usual girl drama. Her circle? Mostly guys from her classes, a ragtag group of freshmen and sophomores who bonded over shared lunches and inside jokes. They weren't super tight, but she felt safe with them, you know? Like a little found family in the chaos of high school. But then there was him. We'll call him Senior Boy because that's exactly what he was. An 18-year-old senior, tall and cocky with that smug grin that screamed, "I own this place." He started sliding into their lunch table, uninvited, plopping down right next to Emily like he belonged. At first it was just annoying. He'd tease everyone, hog the conversation. But soon it zeroed in on her, and not in a friendly way. Every single day she'd come home from school, her backpack slung heavy over one shoulder, and flop onto the couch with this exhausted sigh that twisted my gut. "Mom," she'd say, her voice barely above a whisper, eyes fixed on the floor. "That guy at lunch, he won't stop." I'd lean in, heart already racing, and she'd spill it. Crude jokes about her body's sexual innuendos disguised as compliments. Whispers that made her skin crawl. "Please stop." She'd tell him, her cheeks flushing hot with embarrassment, pushing her tray away like the food suddenly tasted sour, but he'd just chuckle low and mocking, leaning closer so his breath brushed her ear. "Come on, lighten up. It's just fun." The betrayal stung worse from her friends. There they were, 5 or 6 guys crammed around that massive cafeteria table, forks clattering against trays, laughter echoing off the linoleum floors. Emily's pleas hung in the air like smoke, clear, desperate, but no one said a word. They'd shift uncomfortably, avoid her eyes, mumble something about not wanting drama. One even shot her a look like she was overreacting. His shoulders hunched as if defending her would cramp his style. It was like she was invisible, her discomfort just background noise to their easy camaraderie. I could see it wearing her down, the way her smiles faded, how she'd pick at her nails during dinner, lost in thought. As her mom, I was seething. Nights blurred into frustrated talks in our kitchen, the hum of the fridge, the only sound besides my rising voice. "This is harassment and sexual harassment from an adult to a minor. It's not okay." Powerlessness clawed at me. I wanted to storm the school myself, but she was the one living it. "Talk to the counselor," I urged, gripping her hand across the table, feeling the slight tremble in her fingers. "I'll go with you. We'll make them listen." She shook her head, eyes wide with doubt, the fluorescent kitchen light casting shadows that made her look even smaller. "It won't help, Mom. They'll just say I'm too sensitive or tell me to ignore it. Things like this don't change." Frustration built like a storm cloud. Days turned into a routine of dread. Emily's footsteps heavier on the way to the bus, her texts during lunch sparse, intense. "He's at it again." I'd pace the living room, imagining the cafeteria's sticky tables, the chatter drowning out her quiet protests. Universal, right? That gut-wrenching feeling when disrespect piles on and the people who should have your back just don't. Betrayal from friends hits different. It's not just the bully. It's the silence that echoes. Nope. The next day, he was back worse than ever. Slamming his tray down like a challenge, he cornered her with a lewd comment that made her freeze, fork midway to her mouth. The table went silent, but again, nothing. One friend even snickered nervously, eyes darting away. Emily's face burned, tears pricking, but held back by sheer will. That night she slammed her bedroom door, the sound reverberating through the house like a crack in her resolve. "I'm done, Mom, done" being the punchline. The breaking point hit like a thunderclap. Curled on her bed, hugging her knees, Emily's voice cracked over the phone. Wait, no, face to face, in the dim lamplight, her words tumbling out. "They all know I hate it. They see it every day, and they let it happen. It's like I'm not even there." Fear laced her tone. What if it escalated? What if no one ever believed her? But beneath it, a spark ignited. Determination hardening her jaw fists, clenching the bedsheets, powerlessness flipped to resolve. "I'm going to the counselor tomorrow alone." My heart swelled, pride mixed with worry. This was her fight, her stand, but inside doubt swirled for both of us. Would they dismiss her? Blame her? The planning phase stretched through a sleepless night. Emily rehearsed in the mirror, her reflection pale but fierce words practiced like a script. Details of every comment, every ignored plea, sensory flashes haunted her. The greasy cafeteria smelled the scrape of chairs as he leaned in, the hollow echo of her own voice begging to stop. What if they side with him? She whispered. To me, it dawned on light filtering through curtains. I squeezed her shoulder. "You're strong. You've got this." School that morning felt eternal. The bell rang like a starting gun, hallways buzzing with oblivious chatter. Emily's steps echoed heavier toward the counselor's office, palms sweaty, heart pounding against her ribs. She knocked, the door creaking open to reveal the school counselor, a no-nonsense woman with sharp eyes and a clipboard that screamed authority inside. The air was thick with tension. Emily poured it out. The daily torment, the friends. Silence, the way it made her dread lunch like a battlefield. See. Listen, nodding her pen, scratching notes that felt like lifelines. No judgment, just quiet. Power. This ends today, Sissy, said voice. Still, Emily's breath caught. Was this real? The execution unfolded like a storm lunch bell. Chaos of trays and shouts. C strode into the cafeteria, heels clicking like Judgment Day, zeroing in. On the table, conversations hushed as she locked eyes on senior boy. You with me now. His smirk, faltered fork, pausing mid-air confusion. Rippling across his face, Emily hung back, pulse thundering in her ears, watching him slink away like a scolded dog in the office. The ripping began as his voice boomed, not yelling but cutting. Sexual harassment of a minor? You're 18. This could mean arrest charges, a record that follows you forever. Senior boy shifted, arrogance cracking. Mumbling excuses, then SC called Emily in face-to-face, the air electric. One more word, one hint of anything sexual, and it's reported, understand? He nodded, pale eyes darting to the floor, humiliation etching lines on his face, but C wasn't done. She marched back to the table, the guys' frozen mid-bite faces draining of color. And you all, her friends? You sat there day after day while this happened, knew she hated it and did nothing. Where's your spine? Your loyalty? Shame washed over them. One squirmed, another stared at his plate, the weight of their inaction crushing Emily's step-forward voice. Steady despite the adrenaline. You should have stood up for me. This is on you. The wimpy friends erupted. In whispers, blame shifting like sand. You got us in trouble. One hissed, eyes accusatory. Emily didn't flinch. Her chin lifted, a superhero emerging. No, you let it happen every day, own it. The table fell silent, the sting of truth hanging. Heavy, the downfall was poetic. Senior boy slunk back to his side of the cafeteria, avoiding eyes, his cocky swagger shattered, replaced by hunched shoulders and averted gazes. No more comments, no more laughs, just silence thick and deserved. Her friends? They scattered like leaves in wind, apologies mumbled, but too late. Emily sat taller that day, tray in front of her, finally eating in peace. Relief flooded her, a weight lifting tears of triumph, stinging her eyes on the bus. Ride home. "It worked, Mom." She beamed, voice breaking with joy. They listened, it's over, and the ripple? Monumental. That next year, flipping through the student handbook, there it was. Sexual harassment, bold and punishable, Emily's courage. Etched into policy, protecting every girl after her. She wasn't just avenged, she was a force in the end. This wasn't just revenge. It was reclaiming power in a world that too often silences the vulnerable. My daughter taught me and her. School that one voice can shatter the status quo. Karma isn't always instant, but when it hits, it's transformative. Weird chills, right? If this tale of standing up and shutting down harassment gave you that justice rush smash, like, drop a comment. What's your wildest school karma story? Subscribe and ring the bell for more Reddit revenge that hits different. Next one's even juicier. Thanks for watching.